What's up, guys? I'm Brandon, back at you with another Power Rangers video. So, forgive me for being kind of messy. I was out here gardening, and but while I was doing that, I got to thinking about something, and that's Hasbro and Megazords. Power Rangers, half of the show, every episode is dedicated to Megazords transforming and fighting monsters, and Megazords are a big part of the show. But if you think about it, Hasbro's owned the brand now since 2018, so that's 2018, 19, 20, we're in 21 now, so it's going on 4 years. And they've only ever put out what I would say are 3 combining, transforming, full-on Megazords. That's it. They've put out 100 legacy collectible figures now, countless, regular basic figures, bunch of role play stuff, but they're just avoiding transforming, combining Megazords. And it's like, why are they doing this? The only ones we've gotten so far are the Beast Morphers line, and that was, the main Beast Morphers and Megazords. They were all sold separately. You had to buy them to combine them, and you can make the big Ultra Zord from that season. And then they did the Mighty Morphin Megazord, which again were released as separate pieces. You had to buy them all to put them together and make the Megazord. And now they're doing the same thing. They're coming out with the Dino Fury Megazord. And again, you have to buy separate Zords to combine them into the Megazord. It's interesting how they're doing them all separate like that, whereas Bandai always did them packaged together. I can see it makes sense because you can keep prices down and have higher quality, bigger, more transforming parts to the Zords, break them out into separate packages, whereas Bandai always tried to get everything like $30 in one box. And had to sacrifice articulation and a lot of things like that. But that's side tangent. Why did Hasbro do these 3 Megazords and they've done nothing else when that's such a core part of the brand? And it hit me. Think about it. They only did these 3 because they had to. Number 1, Beast Morphers. That was the main season for their first 2 years. Main series for their first 2 years that Hasbro had the brand. So they had to make that Megazord. That's kind of like you have to make that current season's Megazord. It's just a requirement. A lot of people, although, had issues finding, especially the Red Ranger Zord, which was the base of the Megazord. So they were hard to find, but they made them. It's like they had to. They did it because they had to, is my opinion now that I'm thinking about this, and I'll explain why in a minute. Then they did the Mighty Morphin, which, again, you could say they didn't have to do that because that's been overdone, but think about it. Power Rangers, the most iconic thing about it is Mighty Morphin, and every owner of the brand has had to take a stab. Every generation. We had the original Saban era, we had the Neo Saban era, and now we've got the Hasbro era. Every era they've tried to do a take on the Megazord. It's like passage rights. They have to do that. So I'm gonna say they kind of had to do that, just because it's just a big part of the brand and the nostalgia factor for it. They had to take a stab at some kind of that. And then Dino Fury. Same thing as Beast Morphers. They had to do it because it's the current season. So why am I saying they only did them because they had to? And they won't touch anything else. What is my reasoning? It hit me. I was out here, I was raking some wood chips in my garden, and it hit me that Hasbro has a financial reason not to make more Megazords than they have to. If you think about Hasbro and say, well, why would they avoid Megazords? Okay? Ask yourself this question. What other boy action brand do they have? What is their number 1 selling boy action brand? Way back in the day, it was probably G.I. Joe, but for the past few decades, it's been what? Transformers. And what are Transformers? They're giant robots that transform, sometimes combine. And if you think about it, what other lines have there been over the years that have lasted the longevity of Transformers and competed against them on toy shelves? other than Power Ranger Megazords. Power Rangers and the Megazords are probably the #1 competition the Transformers have ever faced. And I'm sure they have the sales data and research data to show, and I could be wrong, but this is the only thing that makes sense to me, that Power Rangers and their Megazords probably steal sales from Transformers because they're similar types of toys. They go after a similar type of play mechanics and audience. And so by owning the Power Ranger brand, not only do they get the revenues from Power Rangers, but they can prevent the part of Power Rangers that uses to steal revenues from their cash cow that is Transformers, and that's Megazords. To me, that's the only thing that makes sense. Why else would Hasbro take a part of the brand that is literally half of every single episode and avoid making it as much as possible? Yeah, they've done a couple of non-transforming things, but not much of that either. But the biggest thing is they do not do transforming combining Megazords. But they do a buttload of transforming, and sometimes combining, Transformers. I don't know, what do you guys think? Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. Am I crazy on this? Do you think I'm onto something? I don't know, what do you think? Leave a comment, like, subscribe. See you next time. Bye.